One of the best aspects about WRTI is how easy it is to use. So looking at the website, westerntraining.org, anyone can access it either at home or from one of the centers. Let's take a look. Once you get to the website, westerntraining.org, as you can see, there are two login options, one for new users, one for existing users. One of the reasons why we had to go with dual logons is it was important to restrict access to people that were affiliated with one of the centers. The curriculum belonged to both PCADV and PCAR, and so to restrict the access, we had to make sure that everyone trying to access the website was affiliated with one of the centers. New users are added by an administrator, so each center has one or two administrators, and so they go into the system, they add users. A new user would log in under the new user registration, put in their email. The system will either recognize their email and allow them to log in, or not recognize them and restrict the access. For existing users, they're adding their email and their password. And because I'm an existing user, I'm going to start off at the menu page. If I were a new user, I would have to go through a registration process that would record what center I was affiliated, and also it would get a knowledge measure of my knowledge of the current law in Pennsylvania for domestic violence and sexual assault. And also some pre-tests on some of the topic areas. So really easy to use. Looking at session 1, history. Before I am permitted to complete the session, I have to take a pre-test. And so I'm looking at the history section, and the history session was actually the most used session this year. So some people will complete all 16 sessions to complete the certification process. Other centers will just have people use one or two of the sessions, or maybe more, and then in addition you may have board members that are just, refreshing their certifications as well. And the history session was a good one for board members. So I'm just going to randomly choose answers here. So again, very easy to use. Submitting. Now, in this case, because I have already completed this section is going to allow me to go on to the video. If I were a new user and I could go back over and review that. So I'd go into the video section. So looking at the first session, this is an introduction to the history session. As you can see with this particular session, there aren't any handouts. If there were, I could click here to get the handouts for this session. We have it set up so that the user does have to watch the entire video before they can take the post tests. Since I've already gone through this session and completed my certification, I can stop this at any time. So I'm going to return to the menu. Go back to the session, and at the point that I finished the video, I would go to the post test, which isn't showing up here because I've already completed it. So you see post test completed, so I'm able to access my certificate. Again, I can print that off, return it to either of the centers that I'm affiliated with, and then go back to the menu and choose another session, or finish there. That's really it. So very easy to use when I'm finished with my session. And I could either choose another session at this point, but I'm pressed for time, so I'm going to conclude my session, come back and finish at another time. So I'm simply going to log out, and our session is completed. So as you can see, the website is really easy to use, which was what we were going for. Feedback that we've gotten back so far has been very positive. So I found the website to be user-friendly, fairly intuitive, and really lets people spend the time on what they should be doing. That's going back to the centers and helping victims.